Priscilla Presley discloses all. The painful marriage to Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll. The expected response to hearing about marriage is usually excitement, the opportunity to spend your life with the person you love. Raise a family and grow old together sounds wonderful. And apparently there's evidence that this dream life can actually be reality. Celebrities like David and Victoria Beckham, Portia de Rossi and Ellen DeGeneres, and many more are lucky enough to live for and through this beautiful experience called marriage. While being married to the king of rock does sound amazing, it wasn't all bursts of sunshine and love songs for his wife, Priscilla Presley. Rather, it was a shallow pit of darkness and conflict. When Priscilla's ex-husband died, she was prepared to talk about her marriage with him. While Priscilla outlined everything during their marriage, she characterized the marital agreement as an awful experience. The majority of the specifics are unpleasant, tough to swallow, and especially when they pertain to a well-known figure like Elvis Presley. So, without further ado, here are Priscilla's unhappy marriage to Elvis Presley's mysterious secrets. 14 years old. Priscilla and her family moved to Germany in the early 1960s when she first met Elvis. Elvis had already gained popularity, but Priscilla was a 14-year-old girl at the time. When they first encountered one another, Elvis was extremely nervous. He appeared ungainly when he was around her. Years in the making. Although Elvis had to return to war, he and Priscilla communicated often for years afterwards. Elvis contacted me frequently through letters, so my parents could see that we had more than just a platonic friendship, she explained. A family truth. At adulthood, she quickly uncovered the truth behind her parents. As a child, she always believed that her father was Paul Below, an Air Force officer. Once she turned 18, however, it was revealed to her that her mother had remarried and that her biological father was James Wagner, a U.S. Navy pilot who unfortunately died in a plane crash. Coming home late. As expected, Priscilla's parents were livid when Elvis came home later than he said he would on the first day they met. However, Elvis was able to sweet-talk them into letting Priscilla see him again by assuring her parents that it wouldn't happen again. Fortunately for Elvis, it seems as though his tactics worked. Not love at first sight. Priscilla wasn't interested in him before they met. How's that possible? She did have a few friends who liked him, but she'd seen a magazine with a picture of the king that disgusted her. She hated the sight of him signing an autograph on the breast of a blonde woman when he should be writing to his subjects or meeting with other royals instead. Signs of infidelity. Many rumors circulated about Elvis cheating on Priscilla while they were in a long-distance relationship with celebrities such as Anne Margaret, his co-star in Viva Las Vegas, and Nancy Sinatra. To quell the gossip and ease Priscilla's mind, he invited her to move in with him. Though they appeared happy, Elvis was still leading a double life behind closed doors. A shoulder to cry on. Elvis's mother, Gladys Presley, passed away from a heart attack while he was serving in the army. Priscilla did everything she could to comfort him despite their difficult situation. According to her, it was the most vulnerable time in his life. Elvis kept up constant communication with her when he left for Germany and wrote letters and called her regularly for 2 years they were in the long-distance relationship. A questionable wedding. After several years of living together, Elvis proposed to Priscilla in December 1966. However, there was talk about the specifics of the proposal. It was rumored that Priscilla warned Elvis that she would reveal their relationship status to the press if he didn't propose. Short and sweet. The wedding was a media circus, with photographers and newsmen camped out on the steps of the Las Vegas Aladdin Hotel. Their marriage ceremony lasted just 8 minutes, which is not what any woman would want. Though she married the love of many women's desires, her life was just beginning. Admitting what he used to do to her. Although Priscilla liked being a housewife, her relationship with husband Elvis wasn't improving. His new wife said that he was very possessive and would always tell her what to do or wear, not letting her have any free time for herself. Ageless. He didn't want her to grow old while they were both so young because he didn't want her to become an elderly lady. It's been claimed that by smacking her on the forehead, he would remind her of how old she was. He would bring attention to what she was doing, which might cause wrinkles in the future. feared. Priscilla loved him, but there were times when she wouldn't feel secure around him, and she was afraid of him. When irritated, Elvis became a distinct person to whom pity enough to harbor a grudge. He would also shoot their television set when he was angry about something, large or little. She can now admit that it's amusing, although it was quite frightening back then. Pregnancy nervousness. A few months after they got married, Priscilla learned that she was expecting a baby. This unfortunately made her nervous because Elvis had said before that women who get pregnant use it as an excuse to let themselves go. These comments irked her so much that she considered an abortion, but the couple went through with the pregnancy. On February 1st, 1968, Lisa Marie Presley was born. Ready to pop. Priscilla's marriage to a rock star was interesting, but it was nothing like it is today. Red flags were raised early on in her marriage. Things just got worse and worse over time. She wasn't allowed to go where she pleased, let alone live a regular existence. Makeup, always. Despite the difficulties with her marriage, Priscilla wanted to appear attractive for her spouse. She made it a goal not to lose her husband, especially to another woman on the road. She was constantly sure to apply makeup. Priscilla claims that she attempted to mimic the looks of other celebrities in order to keep her husband entertained and satisfied. A karate instructor. For several years, Priscilla tried to make her relationship with Elvis work. However, she eventually started taking karate lessons from Mike Stone, and they had an affair. Her husband couldn't do anything about it when he realized his own flaws too late in the game. Divorce millionaire. She received $725,000 in cash as part of the divorce settlement, which would be worth about $4.2 million today. The settlement also included child support, spousal support, and half the money from their Beverly Hills mansion. She also received 5% from her ex-husband's publishing company. When Elvis passed away, Priscilla got even more money. Hand in hand. After years of fighting and an ambiguous marriage, they both found closure in their divorce. And to top it off, Elvis and Priscilla walked out of the courthouse hand in hand. Death denial. The King of Rock died in 1977, and the world was sad. Priscilla was shocked. In a conversation with journalists, she revealed that her late ex-husband was lonely behind his fame and image. To be alive. Even though they split, that hardly meant Priscilla stopped loving the king. In fact, it was quite the opposite. I needed to find out what the world was like outside of our relationship. But even though we were exploring different lifestyles, we still loved each other, the ex-wife of the king had proclaimed. Estate turn attraction. After Elvis's death, she became the sole owner of Graceland. Maintaining the estate was costly, but it was worth millions. To make a profit and keep her late husband's memory alive, she decided to open Graceland to the public as a tourist attraction. Making a name for herself. Priscilla didn't want to be only known as Elvis Presley's ex-wife. Before she was associated with him, Priscilla was a successful businesswoman who turned Elvis Presley's enterprises into a $100 million company. After their divorce, she tried her hand in the fashion and fragrance industries, working with various people like fashion stylist Olivia Bliss. She also became an actress and starred in the 80s series Dallas and comedy film trilogy The Naked Gun. Dating other men. Aside from her famous ex-husband, Elvis Presley, and her lover in 1975, Mike Stone, she moved on to other men. In no particular order, she spent time with world-renowned photographer Terry O'Neill, successful financier Kurt Kerkorian, and lawyer Robert Kardashian. There were also rumors that singer Tom Jones and her had been an item, but she silenced all the gossip and confirmed that nothing was going on between them. A bit too familiar. She was married to a legendary music artist, and her daughter appeared to be following in her footsteps. Priscilla was concerned about her daughter's association with the contemporary king of pop, Michael Jackson, who had become famous at such an early age. Her daughter had met Michael at a young age, much like herself, which made the situation even more ironic. Never an audience member. After being married for a decade in the 1950s, she was finally able to watch her husband perform live. Despite years of knowing him, his stage performances were still a mystery to her. The Church of Scientology. After his death, she went through a difficult road. She made the decision to devote her life to Scientology that same year he died. John Travolta, another actor, was a member of the organization and assisted her in overcoming her suffering. She also influenced her daughter, Lisa Marie, to join Scientology. Her daughter decided to leave the religion 3 years later. Priscilla followed suit 3 years after that. An eternal flame. Even 40 years after he died, she says she can still talk to him. When she goes to Graceland, sometimes she sees him walking down the stairs or hears music and laughter coming from the music room. But instead of being scared, she finds it beautiful. Looking back on success. The king was said to have come into prominence overnight. This isn't true. It didn't happen the way you would read it, where we just popped up and that was it. Elvis worked high schools, auditoriums, malls, and tiny halls in the beginning. You look back and wonder how it could have been so oblivious. Nobody knew. Once and for all. Priscilla may be perplexed why she was ready to confess everything regarding Elvis, good and bad. There are so many books written about Elvis that contain a lot of lies, fables, myths, incorrect information, and false information that I'd want to set the record straight right now.